Hi friends, it's Liz here. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to be adding another page to my mini creative ideas journal, and I hope you join me and watch the process. Now, if you haven't seen this little mini journal before, I have made a few different pages in it. I will link those videos below if you're interested. Today I'm going to be working with these watercolor brush pens, and I've been wanting to try this technique for such a long time. I just wasn't sure if it was going to work. So I've been playing around with the colors just to see if it actually gets some saturation on the stamps. As you can see here, I've pulled out some of my stamps with some flowers on them because I wanted to try this and see how it would work. So I have this piece of watercolor paper that I have previously used on something else, the other side anyways, and I thought I would use the blank side for this technique. The plan is I'm going to try and make some floral style arrangements with the stamps and using these watercolor brush pens. Now the set comes with this water brush itself just for clear water, so you can add that to the paper or use it in with the watercolor brush pens. And like I said, this is like a technique that I've been wanting to try for a while, so I hope that it works out. I'm really excited about it. And what I wanted to do is to have some flowers that I could color in a little bit and then just make them look like if they had been painted with watercolors. So I'm taking the water brush itself, just the clear water one. And like I said, this one came with the kit. I will link my supplies below if I remember where everything came from. I know the brush pens, the watercolor ones, came from Stationery Pal. And I think some of the stamps are either from a dollar store, and maybe another set is from, I think, In Love Art's shop. But if I do have links to anything, I will link them below for you as well. I do have a coupon code for Stationery Pal if you're interested, at a discount if you purchase anything in their shop. So I love how the first stamp came out, and I'm hoping that the rest of them kind of come out the same. Now I'm noticing that the pens have a different kind of saturation. So this one doesn't feel like it's adding a lot of color to the stamp, but it could be the design of the stamp as well. This one has a lot more detail to it, and so I'm assuming that's why the watercolor itself is it doesn't seem like it's just flowing as nicely. And also I wanted to know, leave a comment below if you've tried this before, because I'm super excited about it. As I said, I've been wanting to do this for a while, and then I just kind of thought I'm going to do this now. The journal that I'm working on, the purpose of it is to try different techniques and different ideas. The fact that it's a tiny little journal is something that is not intimidating, and I know that I can quickly work on a page and move on whenever I have a few minutes. I do have that little binder. I did find that at a Michael's a long time ago on clearance, and I'm glad I picked it up because now I'm using it. So I have done a technique, I believe, with some washi tape and some vellum, and then I've also done a little bit of collaging, and I've used some washi tape stickers and that sort of thing. So as I said, if you're interested, I will link those videos below so you can kind of see the progress that I've made so far in this tiny little ideas style sample journal that I'm working on here. So this next stamp, again, it's the same one that I had used, and I'm just trying out a different color. Now the first flower that I stamped, I had wet the paper a little bit with the water brush, and I found the color did kind of spread a little bit easier. These next two, I have not wet the paper beforehand, and I'm finding that the watercolor is not spreading as much. And even using the water brush here, it doesn't seem to have a lot of water saturation, or just it's not moving as much. So I'm thinking maybe I should have added a little bit of water to the stamp as well, or just added some water to the paper. I'm not quite sure. Like I said, this is kind of my first try at this technique. I am loving how it's turning out. The idea I had in my head is working, so I'm kind of happy with that as well. So I'm just going to continue and see how it turns out. I hope you're all doing well. I've had a kind of a bit of a crazy couple weeks. We did find out that my youngest brother and my youngest sister got COVID. And it was a bit of a shock, of course, and such fear because we didn't know how, they were going to handle it. My brother and my nieces and nephew and my sister-in-law all got sick at once, and that was so scary because the little ones are still very little. And my biggest fear has always been, all the entire family going down at once, because it's like, who's going to take care of whom here? But we're so happy that they got through it and they're just on the mend now, and just feel so much better. And then my sister and my brother-in-law, he didn't get it, luckily, and she's recovered as well. Of course, there's like the residual of having had it for about a week and just kind of slowly recovering from that. So we're so happy that they got through that. And then I also found out my sister-in-law got it as well. And that was, completely different households and everything else, just different areas. And like I said, it's just been one of those a couple weeks where all of a sudden we kept hearing more and more of everyone, getting sick with COVID. And it was, oh my gosh, it was just one of those things that, you're just hoping that everyone gets through it okay. And that's all really you can do, and try and help as much as you can. So like I said, just kind of getting past that with everybody, just feeling that anxiety for them as well. So we're very happy that they've gotten through it, and everyone's well now. So I hope that you're all doing well. It's like I said, it's just one of those things that you never know at this point, and I guess the best thing we can do is just to try and keep as safe as possible, and just continuing that as long as we have to. So getting back to my little coloring here, I'm not a person that has done a lot of watercolors before, and so for me it's a new technique, it's a new process. I am really liking though how the flowers have turned out, and although I thought I was going to cut up this paper, I think I'm going to end up keeping it because I kind of like how it turned out. So this is one of those pieces that I think I'm just going to keep as my little extra sample of, a technique I tried. And then I will make one that is small enough for my little journal. So I had tried freestyling it before with, when I didn't use the stamps. And I don't really like how it turned out. But I'm keeping the page because, as I said, this is a journal where I'm going to try and keep some samples of different techniques that I've tried. And that one is one I tried and did not like. And so behind it, so on the back of it, I should say, I'm going to do the stamped flowers again. And these are the ones that I actually enjoy how they turn out. And I think for those of us that are not very good with watercolors, we're beginners and starting out, I think this is such a great process because it actually gets you playing with the watercolors and just feeling it out. I get to test out how the pens work, how the page actually, fills itself with the water. I haven't added water to the page, so I'm thinking that, this is kind of the way it works right now. Let me know if you actually do watercoloring, if you would add water to the page before you start doing this. And I think I already asked you, but let me know if you've tried this technique, and if you have, what you liked and disliked about it. Definitely leave those comments below because I think it will help anyone reading the comments that's interested in trying it out, maybe figuring out a better way to do it than what I have shown, because like I said, this is sort of my first try at this technique. Even though I'm really loving it and I'm enjoying using my stamps as well, I find that I don't use my stamps as often as I would like to. Now I am using these, like, I guess they're vinyl stamps. I'm not even sure what kind of material these are. They are not rubber, I don't think, and I don't know if this would work with rubber stamps. So if you know that, let me know as well. I definitely will be cleaning these off as when I'm done, because I don't want to have any residue on them. But for now, I've just sort of been leaving them as they are, because when I add water to the stamping in, I can pick up a little bit more color, and I feel like that's just so helpful. It just fills up the rest of the stamp, and I feel like I'm not wasting the watercolor that is still sitting on the stamps themselves. It seems to actually hold quite a lot. So now I was trying to decide what other flower I should attempt, but I wanted a smaller one, and I just couldn't figure out what I wanted. So I'm attempting to just make one. Now I am not sure at this point how that's going to turn out, and I'm just using, the leftover watercolor that I have on the brush, and now I'm picking up a little bit of what's left on that one, and it seems to have a lot of color still on it, which is kind of nice. I think also maybe next time I'll have a drop sheet where I can just clean off my stamp and then have that paper have the leftover colors on it, and then I can use that paper for something else. So like I said, so far it's been fun. Let me know what you think, and let me know if you're going to try it. I would totally love to see it. Don't forget to tag me and share if you are attempting this, and let me know. I would love to see that. Here I'm just going in with the green color one and attempting to again make some sort of like stems for it, etc. So anyways, really loving how it's turning out. I really actually like how the top flower came out. Even though, like I said, it's just a freehand one, I really like it. So I'm feeling a little more confident with this, my friends. I will link, as I said, what I've used in the description box below. I do have a coupon code for Stationery Pal if you're interested. I'm really enjoying using some of their supplies. And I hope you've enjoyed this process. Check out my other videos showing you what else I've done with this mini journal. I am loving the process. Get one, make one, join me in this little creative idea, and hopefully we will have fun doing this. This was the one that I mentioned was my first attempt, and I wasn't quite happy with it, but it's going in. I'm keeping it. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time. Thanks so much for stopping by.